Parents pressured me to downsize my wedding to save money. Then I found out they were actually using that money to pay for my sister's luxury honeymoon after her $150,000 wedding. So I uninvited and cut them out. My parents sat me down 6 months before my wedding and told me I needed to cut my guest list in half. "We just can't afford to help with anything bigger than a backyard reception," my mom said, dabbing her eyes. "Your father and I are stretched thin." I believed them. Why wouldn't I? They'd helped my older sister Valentina with her wedding 2 years ago, but she'd married into money and her in-laws covered most of the costs. At least that's what I was told. So I started cutting. The venue I'd dreamed about since I was 12, gone. Replaced with my aunt's property that had patchy grass and no indoor bathroom. The caterer I'd spent weeks researching, replaced with a potluck where guests bring dishes. My dress budget went from $2,000 to $400. I found something at a consignment shop that almost fit if I held my breath. Every time I pushed back, my mom would call crying about money being tight, and my dad would send long texts about responsibility and not starting a marriage in debt. My fiancé Theo offered to cover more, but my parents guilt-tripped him too. "Family helps family," my dad said. My maid of honor tried to throw me a bridal shower, and my mom insisted on hosting it herself to save costs. She served store-bought cookies on paper plates in our living room while I smiled and pretended this was what I wanted. Meanwhile, Valentina posted throwbacks of her wedding every other week: the custom floral arch, the 7-tier cake, the live band, 300 guests in a waterfront ballroom. Whenever I saw those posts, my chest would tighten, but I'd remind myself her in-laws paid for most of it. 3 weeks before my wedding, Theo and I went to my parents' house to finalize logistics. They weren't home, so I let myself in. I was looking for the folding table inventory in my dad's office when I found a folder labeled V&R Honeymoon. V&R Valentina and her husband Ryland. Inside were receipts, flight confirmations for a 3-week trip to the Maldives, a private villa costing $800 a night, scuba excursions, private dining on the beach. The total at the bottom made my vision blur: $42,000. My parents were spending $42,000 on my sister's honeymoon. I flipped through more pages. The payments started 4 months ago, right after they told me to downsize. Some were marked from wedding savings with my name next to them. They had literally taken money they'd set aside for my wedding and redirected it to fund Valentina's luxury vacation. I photographed everything, every receipt, every transfer, every note in my dad's handwriting. Then I drove home and sat in my car for an hour trying to breathe. That night, I called Valentina. "How's honeymoon planning going?" I asked, keeping my voice light. She giggled. "Mom and Dad are being so generous. They said they had extra savings and wanted to treat us since Ryland's parents covered the wedding. How much are they contributing?" Silence. Then carefully. "Why do you ask?" "Just curious. They told me they were broke. That's why I'm having a potluck wedding in Aunt Deborah's backyard." More silence. Then Valentina whispered, "They told me you wanted a small wedding, that you preferred something intimate." My blood went cold. They'd lied to both of us in completely different directions. I confronted my parents the next morning. My mom immediately started crying. Valentina's marriage needed this. Ryland's family judges everything, and if we didn't match their generosity, they'd look down on her. My dad jumped in. "Your wedding will still be beautiful. You don't need expensive things. We raised you to be humble. You raised me to be the one who gets less." I said quietly, "That's not fair. We love you both equally." $42,000 says otherwise. My dad's face hardened. "We're your parents. You don't get to question how we spend our money. You're right, and I don't get to force you to come to my wedding either." I uninvited them that afternoon. Theo and I took over completely, and his parents offered to help. We found a gorgeous restaurant venue, hired a real caterer, and I bought a dress that actually fit. My parents showed up on wedding day anyway, acting like nothing happened. Security turned them away. My mom caused a scene screaming that I was destroying our family. Valentina watched from her car but didn't come inside. She texted me that night. "I'm sorry, I didn't know." I told her I believed her, but I haven't spoken to my parents since. Some days I feel guilty. Most days I look at my wedding photos and feel something better, free.